Hello, pretty people from YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or whatever the hell you're watching this and or hearing this. My name is Totos088, and we're doing another interview time with another very cool voice actor. How cool it is? Well, we're turning up the badassness and awesomeness level a couple of notches here. And now, well, if you were panning of the videos I was submitting, the previous interview time video was with Patrick M. Seymour, a really cool and kind of cute voice actor, because he is adorable in the way he performed his characters. But now we're going up. We're going up, buddies, because we are now gonna spend some time with, well, I've been saying this a lot and I'm really nervous because we're gonna have an interview time with a pretty big name in the voice acting industry. And now we're gonna have time with, who the hell are you, mister?
Hello, sorry.
Well, if in case you don't recognize him, he's Sean Chiplock.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty much fine. Where's the applause for Sean Chiplock, please? Because he deserves a lot of applauses. Okay, that's enough.
Whoa, they all stopped, like, at the exact same time.
Yeah,
that takes some dedication.
Yeah, my panel is really coordinated, man.
Man, they've been doing this a while.
Yeah, I really have to train him. I mean, I give him the proper food and the proper instruction, and they're well trained. Okay, well, it's a real pleasure to meet you, Sean.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for having me for the interview.
Oh, thank you a lot. Thank you even more for accepting my invitation. Oh my God, I'm really starting to tune up my voice, man, to sound like a little bit more deep and sexy. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with all this. Well, just in case you don't know, Sean Chiplock is a really a voice actor with a lot of time doing his job, giving his voice to characters and all that stuff. But what do you tell? I mean, I can tell one or two things about you, but why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. What are you hoping to know? Like life story, job story? What are you looking for?
I don't know. Well, maybe a bit of everything. I mean, first of all, how did you start in the voice acting career? I mean, how did you start, and how much time you have been in this?
Well, let's see. If I recall correctly, I started either January 1st of 2006 or 2007. I know it was in my junior year of high school. It's actually kind of funny because one of the biggest things they tell you in this industry is that, you know, you gotta be willing to improv, you gotta be willing to try things you've never tried before and make a fool of yourself and just basically do the unexpected, because that's how you discover new character voices or discover talents that you had that you may not have been aware of beforehand. Mm-hmm. And what led me to discover voiceover was exactly that. I was doing something that I consistently did all the time at that point in time, back in 2006, which was I would stay up late to watch Fullmetal Alchemist on Adult Swim, and at the same time, I was really into Neopets. You know the website, neopets.com?
Yeah.
I think I still know my login to that site. Anyway, so I'm up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning as I was off to do, and on that particular evening, I, for no reason, decided to go to the Adult Swim website because they'd been advertising it like every 10 minutes on Cartoon Network. And while there, I happened to come across a video. It was a preview of a piece of Trinity Blood, one of the anime that was premiering on Adult Swim at the time. And it was kind of like one of those, if you ever saw MTV's Behind the Music video where they would show little pop-ups with trivia bits while it played the song.
Yeah.
It was like that, but with the anime episode. And one of them took me to a piece of the recording session, which had Troy Baker recording his Able Night Road for the anime.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was looking at the time, but all I understood was that he was talking at the same time that the character's lips were moving, and they weren't doing any special effects on his voice. He was just becoming the character. And as someone who really had no idea what they wanted to do in college up until that point, it struck this chord with me that I'd never really felt before. And I said, I don't understand what this is yet, but whatever it is, I want to get involved with it. And it really tumbled down from there. I started a folder on my computer labeled audio recordings and started doing weird recordings on my spare time just because it was fun to do. I was very lucky to be picked up by Devin Mack, who became my mentor, and he taught me a lot of what I know today. And then it moved on to doing freelance work while I was in college, moving out to California, and in just the span of 2 years, I've gone from doing it as a side hobby to most of my income is from freelance voiceover now, and I've been doing work for video games, anime, some children's series, a whole gamut of stuff.
So you pretty much started from zero. I mean, knowing nothing, not even knowing what you were doing, and you were picked by someone who started to mentoring you. Is that what?
Yeah, it actually turned out. I found out the other day that I had become his first official student that he took under his wing. So not only do I feel extremely honored that he decided to take a chance with me, I'm also grateful that I was able to turn it around and make real progress with it, and basically not waste his time.
Yeah, but something about this is really catching my eye, because you started about like 7 years ago, more or less, right?
Yes, I do believe it was around 2006, 2007.
Yeah, because if it's 2007, it will be like 7 years from now. But it will be from 7 to 8 years just to put a.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I mean, 7 to 8 years. So your progress was pretty fast, right? Because
I would say for obviously I don't want to say I've been better or worse than anybody, but I would say in regards to how long I've been in California, where the main work is, and how long some people are in the industry before they really start landing roles, I'm proud of what I've done. I mean, I'm definitely no Troy Baker or Nolan North or Maurice LaMarche. I'm nowhere near that amount, but I would say to have done as much as I have within 2 years of moving to California it's pretty impressive, and I'm just happy to be doing it at all.
Yeah, because what I mean about this really fast progress, I mean really fast because starting from 7 years ago into this point, it's a pretty accelerated progress, because some people really take a lot of time to go from small works to from freelancing or other small participation in other kind of work. I mean, probably radio shows, commercials, or small characters.
Right.
To doing now big roles in video games and even anime. I mean, I
would say big among my peers, but I wouldn't say big as a whole. I have done consistent work with Bang Zoom, but it's mostly been in the niche market of video games, and obviously working with indie developers is great too, because someone's got to become the developers of the next generation, and everyone has to start somewhere. But I haven't been involved in a lot of what people would consider mainstream or AAA games, like when you're talking about the Assassin's Creed or the shows that end up on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Disney Channel. I haven't really been on any of those. So while I am grateful for how far I've come, I do recognize that there's still a long way to go, and there's a lot of new things I can still learn and a lot of facets of the industry that I can still get used to and adapt into my experience. So I look forward to what the future holds. I think there's still a lot that I can learn and a lot that I can do.
Oh yeah, that's true, because you can be even an all-on nerd, but that doesn't mean you're gonna stop learning at some point. I mean, no matter how old you are or how much experience you have.
I think the only person who doesn't need to keep learning is Patrick Stewart by this point, and I'm sure even Patrick Stewart would say that he has much to learn. So nobody ever stops learning. No one successful ever stops learning.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how much experience you have, you always learn something new. Even from new people, from young people or people without experience, so even them can teach you something new. But I mean, how does it feel? This is something I asked Patrick. How does it feel when you look at yourself and you realize how much you have been doing? I mean, in video games or anime. I mean, how do you feel when you realize all this progress and you listen to yourself in those pretty big participations?
I find it funny sometimes because I think what people consider to be really huge is not the same as what I consider to be huge. For example, I hear pretty consistently from people who have heard of me before, they always talk about my role as Diabel in Sword Art Online, which I find funny because Diabel was only in one episode and he ends up dying, spoilers. So I didn't really consider it that huge a role, but it ended up on Cartoon Network, or it ended up on Adult Swim, so I guess that was huge to a lot of people. On the other hand, I am extremely proud of my later performance as Kasim in Magi the Labyrinth of Magic. And Kasim is a character who exists through most of the first season. He's like the first season's main antagonist, but not a lot of people have heard of the series. Those that have seen it have had a lot of great things to say, but it's not as well known as Sword Art Online, which I find ironic, because Kasim is definitely a bigger influence on the story in that series. So, in regards, your question was how I feel about having done as much stuff as I have, right?
Yeah.
I think... it's an interesting question, because I'm always looking for more. I'm at a point in my career where I'm always trying to make that next step. And so it's hard for me sometimes to really just sit back and look at what I've done so far, because I'm always trying to shoot for that next thing. Right now I'm trying very, very hard to land a commercial or promo audition with the agency that picked me up in late July, early August, because my next big step would be to get into the union, and I'm really, really, really trying to get into that and get into the commercial promo facet of the industry. So I almost feel bad because I don't think I've done a lot of reflection. I'm happy for the roles that I've been able to do, and I'm enjoying the crap out of the roles I'm currently doing that I can't talk about. But at the same time, I think it's almost a flaw where I'm looking forward too much and I'm forgetting to respect myself and enjoy what I've done so far.
Oh, that's cool, because, well, there's something really important that some people with more experience say, that you always need to keep looking forward to what it's to come, because if you get like satisfied to something and you're okay, I've done enough, I'm gonna take a break or something like it. No, you have to keep moving forward, or you need to keep learning and keep spreading your name and your experience.
Yeah, it's strange sometimes, because it's like, to me, I feel like if not a lot of people are talking about this series to begin with, I shouldn't be touting it, because it just seems undeserved. But at the same time, while I would enjoy hearing, fans tell me about roles that they've heard me in, if I start to become more prolific, it also doesn't matter as much to me, because the person who's most important to me is my girlfriend, who is easily my biggest fan. It always brings a smile to my face when she really enjoys something that I did, and I think I pay more attention to what she thought versus, someone who I don't really know, or a fan just commenting on it from the outside. So I think right now I've internalized a lot of it. I haven't really thought of it in regards to the impact that I've had on the fan base at large. I want them to enjoy themselves, and I want to give a great performance because I want people to be entertained when they watch the series. But I think until I'm at a spot where I'm working more often than I am right now, I'm not focusing too much on what I've already done, because to me, there's still more that could be done. There's still more things I could be trying out for. There's still more of a portfolio I could build for myself. I'm still in the process of running the marathon, and I'm not quite there yet where I can stop and look back at how far I've traveled.
Yeah. Excuse me. But something I also noticed regarding to your works, I was talking with a friend of mine, who's one of my best friends in Germany, and she gave me the link of a Persona 3 Flash video, and I'm not much of a Persona fan, But then I started looking at the cast of the video, and I saw Sean Chiplock, and I was, what the hell? This guy is
wait a
in
minute.
here?
Are we talking about the Daisy comic where I voiced the protagonist? Or are we talking about the parody comic where I voiced what was the kid's name who ended up becoming like the final boss?
I don't know, but I think it was that one. It was that one because he was like, "Oh, you're all going to die" or something like it. Doesn't matter what you do, you're all going to die.
Wow, you just said something stupid.
Yeah, that one. But at first I didn't recognize any voice, and then I had a look at the cast, and I was like, what the hell?
That one has not aged too well, because you can definitely hear my voice peaking, when I'm getting louder on some of those early lines. But it was fun. It was fun just getting to play someone obnoxious. It kind of resonated with me a little,
Yeah. It actually, in the voice works I've done, in the fandubs I've worked on, it's kind of cool to do a serious character. Well, actually, I'm actually looking forward to do more serious characters because I want to put my...
One knows the favorite character is the person who only has one volume and can never go lower.
Yeah, but I can also do some kind of goofy voices, man.
Oh my god!
I always enjoy doing Toad. I feel like every time they make a new game that has Toad in it, he just gets louder and more obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like when you hit Mario Party 2, he's like,
Pick your character. Okay, let's play.
and now you get to like Mario Party 10, he's like,
Okay, let's play a minigame. Ah!
he's on crack or something like it.
Here we go.
Yeah, but then speaking of the YouTube videos, then I don't know how I ended up looking at Left 4 Dead 2 video by Oni Cartoons, and once again I had the brain fart and looked at the cast, and once again, my big surprise, Sean Chiplock, it's in the freaking cast.
There's a funny story about that. Originally, Harry Partridge was supposed to do the voice for that, but he ended up, from what I understand, he ended up sounding too much like, he kind of went for the manly superhero. Come on, gang, let's get out of here. And Oni wasn't looking for that, so he asked me if I could try out for it, and I was completely inexperienced with the Left 4 Dead series. So when he told me you just play like a bored, you're the straight man to everybody else, I think half of it was me reading the lines and not knowing what he was talking about. He's like, I read the lines, like, okay, gang, when the fire goes out, make a run for it. And it ended up translating really well, because in the cartoon, he just sounds he's so done with everybody. He's so done with everyone being less mature and less knowledgeable than he is.
Yeah.
And I love, people were commenting on it for so long. It makes me miss working with Oni. I did several bits of voice work for Oni NG back in the day, and I never heard from him since. I've contacted him, but I never heard back. I don't know if he just moved on or if he prefers working with a certain type of clientele now. But I wish I had the chance to work with him again. I enjoyed the times that I did have, and I hope that if for some reason he hears this interview, he hits me up and maybe we can work together again.
Hopefully, we never know what's going to happen in this kind of stuff. But I also, some months ago, I was watching some videos, and I came across some videos where people were like excited of meeting you in anime cons. I mean, you were almost like a guest in the anime cons, or I don't know if you're people or just people recognize you or something like it. How do you feel when you are walking on some kind of anime or video games event and they are like, oh my god, he's Sean Chiplock? I mean, that happens pretty often with you?
No, it doesn't.
No?
I was going to say, I don't feel much of anything, because at this point in time, I'm pretty much still the anime con attendee rather than an anime convention guest. I do have, I will be guesting at NewCon PDX coming up in January, which I think is the 4th through the 6th. But even then, I'm not expecting it. Again, I think this is partially due to the fact that I don't have a huge portfolio under my wing yet. and most of the games that have been in are rather niche, whereas when you're going to anime conventions nowadays, most of what people are talking about is Madoka Magica or Attack on Titan, or, back in the days it would have been, the Full Metal Alchemist type shows, stuff that's really, really, really popular or free. I guarantee you that in the next couple of months to a year, free is going to be an anime series that a lot of people talk about, especially women who are into that kind of content.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm still more of the attendee. The most attention I got at Anime Expo was because I had done cosplay as a Luxray from the Pokemon series, and a lot of people really liked the detail in the costume. So nothing yet in terms of the voiceover side of things. I would enjoy if in the future I am invited as a guest of honor, or if I become someone who is recognized at anime conventions. But in my experience, I've learned not to put a lot of weight on that. I would rather just have consistent work than be someone who is always going around to conventions. I have more fun playing the character than talking about the character, if that makes sense.
I totally feel you with that, because I've done some fandoms as well, and there are some people that are like, oh my god, I love your character, please tell the character name. Like, okay, I'm gonna tell like this character, and they're like, oh my god, they start squealing like fangirls.
Right.
Like, okay,
it might just be hard for me to talk about it at the moment, because I haven't had that experience where people have come up and be like, oh my god, you were so and so, or I recognize you. I haven't had that happen yet, so I may just be speaking from inexperience where I don't know what it's like yet. So
I only had that chance once, and that was when I attended to an AnimeCon in Mexico City, and I met some people who listen to the radio show where I work on, and they're like, please talk like this guy, and okay, I start making a specific voice, and they're still like, oh my god, that sounds so cool.
You're more well known than I am.
Nah, not really, man. It's just I mean, the listeners I have, it doesn't go over 50, and it's from all over the world. And but when some people also from the radio station sometimes ask me for shout-outs as a specific character that I fanned up, and it sounds kind of cool when maybe not only because of work they start knowing you. And they start, like Patrick Seymour said, it feels kind of cool that some people start to enjoy your work, enjoy listening to you.
That's all I really want in the end, is I want people to enjoy the character performance I gave. I want them to enjoy the series as a whole. Voiceover is very much part of the entertainment industry, and so my goal above all else is to entertain, not to become famous. So...
yeah, because many people, when they become famous, excuse my French, but they become total asshats.
I think it can get into some people's heads. I will agree that sometimes the famosity can, I don't know if that's a word, can cause people to act differently. I hope that doesn't happen to me. It's part of the reason why when voice acting peers of mine talk about... I had an instance where a friend of mine wanted to sit down and watch the episode of Sword Art Online that I was a part of, and I felt really awkward about it. I didn't feel like he offended me. I just felt uncomfortable about it, because there was something about sitting down and watching a show on an official network that I voiced in with someone who is also in the industry but is trying to get to that level. It feels selfish, and I am certain he was just trying to be sincere, and he wasn't jealous or envious at all. But I would rather succeed and help my peers succeed than spend time showing off my accomplishments.
Nah, it's better to be humble.
I've always been much of a miser, and I look at it that way. It's like the more work I get, and the better I do that work, the more work I'll get in the future. And that means, a relatively steady income. And to me, it feels much better. It feels better than anything else to have a steady income, and more importantly, to not have to worry about expenses. I don't care who you are. I don't care how far you in your career. I can't imagine it's easy to feel relaxed when you always have bills or debt or some kind of needed payment weighing down on you. And so for me, the ultimate calm is not necessarily constantly getting work, but getting work to an extent where I don't have to worry about making my monthly bills. Because that allows me to relax, and when I can relax, I can think clearly, and when I can think clearly, I generally do a lot better on my auditions. So it's a self-fulfilling cycle.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of something my father used to say, that you just gotta do what you enjoy to do. If you get money, or fame or anything else, that goes in.
Yeah, that's actually how Freedom Planet worked out. When I auditioned for Freedom Planet, I was under the impression that it was mostly because it was indie, that it was a non-profit, that they were going to raise funding for it, but there was not going to be any payment. It was volunteer work, and I still wanted to do it. And I think because I had that personal interest in it, because I just wanted to be part of it, not necessarily because I wanted to be paid, that also allowed me to get more involved and to resonate more with the character and give an overall better performance. And, imagine my surprise when it turned out it was paying, and it was paying based on a % residual, and that was very much welcome. So I think if you live with that mentality often, if you just work for the things because you enjoy them and not because you want to make money, you'll always be pleasantly surprised when you get paid anyway, because anything higher than zero is not zero, you know?
Yeah. It's better than nothing, but if you enjoy doing your work and you also get paid for it, well, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that leads me to two questions I have before entering to one of the main topics of this interview, which is Freedom Planet, as you mentioned. Some people maybe still are not that aware of who you are, because some people know you more of your nickname, which is something that kind of intrigued me. Because you're like...
It's not nearly as unique as you think it is, but go ahead.
I suppose, but okay, some people actually... I mentioned this because in some of the flashes I've seen of where you appear, the cast doesn't say your name, says your nickname, which is Sonicmega.
Which I find funny, because there have been a lot of cases where I asked them to credit me, or they didn't ask if they wanted to use my name, and so it just turned out using my nickname instead. But most of those were from like the Flash animation era, so I'm not particularly bothered by it. But yeah, Sonicmega is a nickname that has stuck with me for a long time. Its origins are rather simple. It was when I was 12 or 13, and I was signing up on the, I think it was the IGN forums, and of course you had to come up with a username before you could post. And in my boundless amounts of wit and wisdom, I thought, let's just take your two favorite video game characters of all time, mind you, I was 13, and take their names and mash them together. Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man. Sonic, Mega Man, Sonicmega! Oh my god! And it just so happened that the name wasn't taken. And probably what's even funnier is, despite it being a very common, just a very basic nickname, it's not really that unique. Every single place I've ever signed up for that needed a username, that username has been available. In fact, the only time that it's been used by someone who wasn't me is some German music playlist site. So, props to whoever took it on there. I was never going to go there in the first place. But it just kind of stuck with me, It was always available. I could keep it consistent between the places where I had a membership, and I just stuck with it since then.
That's cool. And this actually leads me to my second question, which is, I found kind of ironic that your nickname was Sonicmega, and you actually voiced a character in a Sonic-based game.
Sonic inspired. I don't know. I do know it was based if it used one of the similar engines or the bases, but I like to consider it was Sonic inspired, because a lot of the game definitely goes on its own path.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has bits from every game. I mean, it has bits from even Mega Man, Sonic. You can name it. You can. Everyone has found different parts of games, and that's actually what's going on now. Because some people say that everything is already made in this world. So what you have to do to come up with something new, mash them up and put something together and make it original. But of course, there's always going to be someone that, oh, so it looks like this game. No, it looks like this game. No, it looks like this game, or something like.
So is your question in regards to Spade, my character Spade?
Yeah, I mean, what's your story with Spade? Because like I mentioned, I've also interviewed.
I mean, besides being one of the only male characters in the game, the main male characters, and plus there were people who, when I saw the audition thread, I knew right away that they were likely going to get the part. Like, I saw the Magister, and I was like, that is definitely a role that Edwin is going to probably end up nabbing at the auditions, because Edwin has always done very well at playing, like, the wise types of characters in the past. But for Spade, it was both a personal interest and just past experience. The personal interest was because when I do work for Bang Zoom for like anime and video games, most of the time the characters I play are really high energy. They tend to be very excitable. Or in the case of like, Kiyotaka Ishimaru from Danganronpa, he's very loud and very determined and has strong intent all the time. And so, playing as Spade...
I guess we're having problems with the call. Oh my god, this is not possible! What the heck is going on? Hopefully it's not my internet. I surely hope not. Let me check. Weapons.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, I thought the call dropped. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, because you suddenly got cut, and I thought I was like...
but anyway, so yeah, like where Kiyotaka Ishimaru in a lot of roles were high energy, it was interesting to play Spade because I had to, it was more nuanced. You had to get across his bitterness and his cool guy demeanor without, like, forcibly putting out there. Like, there's a difference between, I am a cool guy, yeah, you need to respect me, and being cool through just not caring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the problem is he does care. He cares about Lilac's betrayal. He cares about his own mission. But at the same time, he's trying not to let too much get to him. So it was interesting to...
not again. Still there?
Take that kind of...
Sorry, there are problems with the call. Oh my god, no. Nar, not this. Sorry about that, people. Yeah, the call dropped. Ah, crap. Well, we'll get back to it in a moment. I think it's coming now. Jesus crunchy Christ, not now. Okay, are we back? Sean, are you there? Oh.
There we go.
Oh, okay, my friggin' internet is farting up. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that, Sean.
No, don't worry about it. So yeah, it was just interesting to take that approach with him. It was, and a lot of inspiration came from Shadow the Hedgehog, especially from the Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 game. Especially since when I was doing a lot of Flash.
Not again. What the hell is going on with this friggin' internet, people? I don't know, and I want to know. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. Oh, what the hell? Freaking internet, what are you doing this to me right now? Why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, they must want it to remain a mystery,
Yeah, the internet doesn't want to reveal your secrets.
Gotta keep the fans on the edge of their seats.
Okay, it's intensifying. Okay. Okay, well, let's go with this thing. Let us continue now.
Okay.
Okay, well, so you say you took a lot of inspiration from Shadow the Hedgehog with that very same, like, cold personality?
Right. Obviously, I didn't think him to be exactly as cold or as emotionless.
Yeah.
But I know that they share a similar demeanor, where Shadow has his own mission, Spade has his own mission. They both find a lot of the main cast to basically be in their way. So there were a lot of parallels between, Shadow's plan of action and his behavior.
Yeah.
And Spade's.
So, how do you ended up bumping into Freedom Planet? How did everything start?
It was really one thing I'm really grateful for is that my network of peers, I have a number of people like Kimlin Tran or Patrick Seymour or Austin Matthews who will post up these projects as they find them. Edwin Tiong especially, he often posts when there's indie projects coming up. And I saw that a lot of my peers that I respect were auditioning for it. And so I checked it out myself. And when I saw the demo or the stills from what he had done so far, I figured it was something that piqued my interest, and I wanted to try out for it. So a lot of voiceover, even in the professional realm, isn't having the work coming to you. You have to go out there and find the work. You have to find the casting calls, you have to find the auditions, and you have to send in your audition for them. So being a professional voice actor is not unlike being a person who's permanently seeking job interviews or seeking a...
Yeah, you gotta look for it. Oh, not again.
They will. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, I mean, even the professional voice actors. I mean, the big names, Gary Schwartz, John Patrick-Laurie, Nolan North. I mean, even they need to move around and look for work.
I just remember people asking Steve Bloom, like, how often do you work, or how often do you just get cast, and how often do you still audition? And Steve Bloom's immediate response was, I'm always auditioning. He does like 3 or 4 auditions a day, and he does no better than a novice in the industry. For every 20 auditions he sends out, he may get called back for only 2 and cast for only 1.
Yeah.
But the fact is that he's sending out a crap ton of auditions, and that's why you see him get cast in so much stuff, because he's trying out for so much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you need to keep moving. In every work you may participate, you need to keep moving, because the work is not gonna come for you. Actually, Patrick Seymour mentioned something that sometimes you audition for someone and you're like sitting in your computer waiting for that email where they accept you, and then you're wasting your time doing that when you could be going around the internet or studios and keep auditioning. And
send it and forget it. It's very commonly told that you need to just understand that you did what you did. As long as you did your best, you have nothing to regret. And now it's time to just move on, because if you spend all your time dwelling on the audition you just did and how good or how bad it is, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, because you're going to be, don't worry, Mom, they're going to call me. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to call me from that audition I made.
Those people will get back to me eventually.
Yeah, they told me that we're going to call you, sir, and I'm still waiting for that call.
Right.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't have to happen. You need to keep moving, man. But oh my God! Well, now that you mentioned Kimberly Tran, oh my God, I envy you so much for knowing her. Because she has a freaking adorable voice. Because another one of your works in the indie market was in Dust: Unleashed Tale, and that game was freaking amazing.
That I remember when I first saw the in progress shots of Dust and Elysian Tale. This was long before it had voice work, and I remember seeing the stills from it and going, man, that game looks so cool. I wish I could be a part of that game. And imagine my surprise when not only did I get an audition for the game, but it came from my mentor of all people. My mentor became the casting director, the casting and vocalization director for the game. And so it was also a learning experience. The audition for that was very rough, and there were a lot of very good people trying out. And I think it was very telling of my experience in the craft at that point in time, because there were a lot of cliches that I did in my audition. There were a lot of things I wasn't getting that could have possibly led to me getting a better role. But I appreciate that I was able to have such a learning experience, because now today I am I know a lot more about nuance and how to actually create a character instead of just doing what I think the director wants to hear.
Yeah, but for example, when you auditioned for Freedom Planet and or Dust, you were sure about what you wanted to make, or you just throw throw signs at the wall to see what sticks. I mean,
I was definitely more sure with Spade than I was with Dust and Elysian Tale. I think with Dust, I was still naive, and I let my excitement about the audition get to me. And so I focused too much on trying to do what I thought the character type would best sound like, instead of creating a voice that not only was within my range, but also worked for the character. That worked for the lines. I was basically just going with a one-note performance instead of coming up with something different for each line to showcase their different emotions. Yeah. With Spade, I was much more experienced by then, and I was like, okay, here's what the main characters are like. Here's how Spade is their foil. This is what his personality says. I've got a very solid idea of what I want to do. And an important thing to realize is sometimes you'll make a strong choice and it will be nothing like what the director was hoping for. And there's no way for you to know that unless they tell you before you audition. What's more important is making a bold choice and sticking to it. If you do stuff that's basically just throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks, the director's going to recognize that even you don't know what you're trying to do with the character, and they may not be able to rely on you to be consistent. Whereas if you pick something, if you make a choice regarding that character and you stick to it, even if it doesn't sound anything like what the director was originally hoping for, they may think, okay, this wasn't what this wasn't what I was hoping for, but the person stuck with their choice, they made a choice, and I feel like if I direct them to what I want, they'll be able to stay with that. So I'd say it's more important than anything to be able to make strong choices. Obviously, if a character is supposed to sound 40 to 60 years old, you shouldn't be, doing a high-pitched, teenager voice, but as long as you get within that general realm, what's more important is just making the character your own and then showing the director how you came to that decision.
Oh, so when you auditioned for Dust, which character you were hoping to get?
I did auditions for several people. I did auditions for Dust. I did auditions for it's been so long by now that I'm forgetting a lot of the character names. A lot of the townspeople. I'm trying to think of what his name was. There's there's Reed. I know that Michael Johnston got Reed, and he did a very good performance as Reed. But I tried out for Reed. Oneida's husband. I'm trying to think of what his name was. But basically most of the males in the game, except for General Gaius, I had the opportunity to audition for. And I didn't get any of them, but down the line, when it came time for the later characters, my mentor came back around to give me a shot at Sanjin, which I managed to land. And he's very far in the game, so I doubt a lot of people have seen his performance, but I was just honored to be a part of the game in any regard, in any portion.
Yeah, I actually beat the game, and when I started looking at your portfolio, I was like, what? In Dust as well?
Yep.
And then I started looking for the character, because I didn't remember at all the character, his appearance, and then I was like, oh my god, I heard Sean Chiplock all this time and I couldn't recognize him.
I don't know. I think Sanjin's voice is still pretty close to my natural tone, but I figure I might have surprised a few people if they've been following my body of work.
And it's slipping my mind. Sorry, I'm derping out. I just got too excited into this that my brain just got wiped out. Of all of the voices you have done, which one do you think has been your favorite, or the work that you
have? Absolutely. I mean, there's one that I think may take up my new favorite slot for younger characters. I can't talk about it right now, but it's a series that kind of mixes Pokemon with Digimon with Beyblade, and I've been really excited to be a part of it, and I think we're wrapping it up this week. But in terms of stuff I can talk about, definitely Cassim. I really, really enjoyed playing as Cassim. Cassim was my most challenging character, and he was also my most fun, because it allowed me to be... at the same time that I was able to be loud and angry and really put all of the energy that I often have to use, it also allowed me to channel a lot of feelings I was having in my life at that time. I will admit that certain events had created a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, maybe even a little bit of anger or bitterness in me, and it allowed me to channel that and put it into Kasim's performance, because Kasim was very bitter towards Alibaba, very angry towards his social or his societal status, and I think it helped really give a sense of life to his character, a sense of rationality, and to give reason to his actions.
Oh, because in my previous interviews, it turns out, well, that most of the people that work in Freedom Planet didn't have that much of experience. For example, Amy Smith, who voiced Mila in Freedom Planet, she only had minor appearances in other games. So it turns out that her favorite character, or her biggest role until now, was precisely Mila. And she actually loved that character. Same with Patrick Seymour, who also had his roles in other games, for example in Heroes of New World. But turns out that his signature character was being Torque right now, because of all of the...
I think Torque is going to end up being one of the most popular characters of the game. Like, I'm just calling that right now. Patrick really made that character his own, and Torque is just... He's a lovable oaf. He's determined, but he's also... how do I describe it? He's cute in a naive sort of way, but he becomes strong by the end of the game. So I think he's going to be really popular with a lot of the players once he becomes playable.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited about Spade being playable. Actually, there's a way to play a Spade using a cheat engine and other things that can mess up the game. Well, not exactly mess up, but I played as a Spade a couple of times, and it's pretty interesting. But I really want to see how the character is. It ends up in his development. Also, I wanted to see more about his story, because there was a lot of holes in the game as of now.
I'm also definitely interested. I want to see what people think once his actual story comes out, and they're able to see more of, and they're able to see, what drove him to do what he did and what goes on behind the scenes. I feel like you only got bits and pieces of him during the main story. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he becomes playable for his own story mode.
Anything you can spill out regarding to that, or it's
top
secret?
It's been a while since the game came out, so
not again.
I'm more excited. Go ahead.
No,
were you gonna say something?
No, the internet it was starting to derp out again.
I'm more excited for his gameplay. That's actually it seems funny coming from the person who performed as him, but I know that his gameplay is rather different compared to the other characters, much like how Torque is radically different from the rest of the cast.
I mean, every character has its own style. I mean, Lilac has this more Sonic style gameplay, which is more about speed and just going fast all over the stage. Carol is more like go wild, exploring whatever you want, because you have that OP wall climbing. Mila has this pretty unique way of gameplay, because it's a little bit more slow, but you have to time your attacks, because she's more about skill shots.
You have to know what you're doing and basically prepare ahead of time.
Yeah, Torque has this more like Mega Man-ish style, and Spade, it's pretty hard to describe.
He's the lone wolf, just like in the game.
Yeah, but he has this pretty complex and hard to control game style, because he has that kind of dash slide, and he throws cards all over the place, and it's pretty interesting but kind of hard at the same time, because he's really fast in his own way, and he's hard to maneuver. But I mean, it's in his current state. I don't know how it's gonna end up, but one of the things I really enjoyed of the game is how unique every character is, because if you play a Sonic, for example, a Sonic Advance game, no matter which character you pick, all of them has pretty much the same style, and this is not the case.
Right.
But
very astute. I mean, you said pretty much everything that I would say.
But for example, how do you feel when? Well, I don't know if you had the chance to see or try the character, in any kind of like exclusive beta or something like that. But how do you feel when you're playing the game and you the idea comes to your mind that, oh my god, I am this character. I mean, I gave life to this character. How do you? What comes to your mind?
Funnily enough, I don't think I've played any of the games that I've voiced in. So, I haven't. No, I've been really busy lately, especially with stuff like Smash Brothers or just going to workshops and doing everything else. It's kind of like how Harrison Ford never saw any of the films he acted in. I haven't seen any, or I haven't heard my performance in any of the games that I played. Again, that's why Kasim is the exception, because I made sure to watch the episodes of Magi that Kasim was in, or just the series as a whole. It's really good, and the cast did a fantastic job. It's actually my girlfriend who usually alerts me to when she's heard me in games. Like Fairy Fencer F recently came out, which I voiced Zank in.
Oh, that crazy murderous
bastard. Zank's one of my new favorites. It was definitely fun playing as him, and I think I even freaked out the recording director a little bit. But
you actually freaked me out.
She was looking forward to when the game came out because she wanted to get to the part in the game that I voiced, and so I often experience my performances again through when she gets to them in game, and it's fun seeing her reactions to it.
Actually, I have heard that part where you appear, and I was like, oh my freaking god, this guy is insane! What the hell is wrong with him? Actually,
yeah, I mean, he wants two people to fight to the death, and one of them decides no and kills himself, so what does he do? He has them grab his daughter, or he has them grab the dude's daughter because he's going to chop her up into pieces and force feed them to their grandfather. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Totally normal.
If people watching this, if you wanna have an idea of what kind of character this Zank is, Zank, I don't know how you spell it.
It's Zank. I think it's pronounced Zank.
Take a whiff of this.
Fight your children. Fight your parents. Fight your lovers. I adore shattering human emotions into pieces. What use is love? What's the point of friendship?
What's the point of being that kind of person?
Who needs working microphones? Let's scream at them until they break!
I don't want to imagine what kind of sore throat you had after all those shouting.
Oh, I was definitely sipping the tea on that day, and that's not even the craziest I get. There's one part where I forget how far into the game it is, but I basically the character is attacking me, and I'm having so much fun with getting attacked by him that I'm basically going full throttle crazy, and I lose it. I completely lose it. I'm so excited by the concept of bloodshed that I start cackling maniacally. Like, wow. What you just played is I enjoyed hearing it, but it's not even the craziest that he gets.
Wow.
It's intense. Zank was intense, and it took a toll on me, and I'm so glad that I didn't ruin my throat permanently playing as him.
Actually, one of the last fandoms I made was about Felix the cat. Oh my god, give me a break. And I got the chance to voice like a skeleton called Calamity Man, and he's speaking a voice really calm, but he starts shouting. When I voiced that shouting, it was like, oh my freaking god, my throat hurts. I don't want to imagine how this guy ended up doing Zank, because he shouts out the whole freaking game.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to be prepared for that. You get to the Nolan North level of stuff. You're gonna have 6-8 hour sessions where you're gonna have to record a character screaming, falling, dying, jumping on other enemies, dying with other enemies, making other enemies start dying. It's a lot of stuff. And you got to be ready for it.
Yeah, but in a way, I suppose it's kind of fun. I mean, because who doesn't want to go crazy every once in a while?
Right.
But yeah, it takes its toll, and well, there are some people who has maybe a little bit more experience on how to do that kind of shouting and screaming without messing themselves that much. But it's quite a challenge. But I think I actually enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But what kind of characters is the one that you enjoy the most? I mean, like serious, funny, crazy, like Zank, or what's the kind of character? The personality
I think loud. It seems cliche.
Come on, internet, don't do this to me. Yeah, problems with the connection. Yeah, thank you, internet, for pointing that up? Yeah, there it goes. Well, I'll be back in a moment. Let's just let this thing catch up again. And hopefully it's gonna return now. Hopefully. Oh, there it goes. Internet did it again.
Huh?
Internet did it again. Yeah, the internet did. The call dropped again. Well, where were we?
I'm trying to remember what you were asking. I'm so sorry.
The favorite personality that you like to.
Oh yeah, loud. I like loud characters. I like characters that have a lot of energy. One of the things I copied the most when I was still a novice was I always enjoyed the attack animations and callouts.
Yeah.
Especially if you think of like Tales of Symphonia or Tales of the Abyss,
Yeah.
how they call, Demon Fang, Divine Judgment, stuff like that.
Yeah. The skill shots.
Yeah. And it's actually like one of my dreams to be to play a character in either that series or a type of game like that where I have this list of moves that I'm able to call out.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's actually pretty interesting, but because I think Spade has a little bit of that, but he only says Spade power or Heart power, that kind of stuff, but that's not exactly like a skill list to give voice, right?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's cool. Like I was saying, I mean, Spade has a bit of that, but that, of course, that's not like the number of.
Spade, that's what made Spade a challenge, and that's what made him different for me. Is because I couldn't be like that. Even when he's mad or pissed off at Lilac, it seems like he still internalizes a lot of it because maybe he views emotion as weakness. Maybe he feels like if he lets himself get affected by it, he's gonna derail from his mission. So he is still obviously affected, but he's also in an internal battle where he doesn't want it to.
Yeah, he needs to keep his cool in order to keep his mind straight. Okay, so now that you mentioned about being loud, I also remember the Danganronpa character Kiyotaka, who was also like, "What?" or doing this random shouting. I actually saw a clip right before the interview, and I was like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy? He's way too hyper."
Yeah, no, Kiyotaka's he's the super hall monitor. If you've ever watched that SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob finally gets to monitor the hall, Kiyotaka is that times 1,000. He's very dead set in his noble ways, and unfortunately it becomes one of his defining flaws, but he's fun because like me, he's not much of a socialite, so he doesn't always have the easiest time interacting with people.
So in a way, you feel identified with that character.
Yeah,
I guess that helps a lot to create the voice or the personality of the character, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I mean, you should always be doing that when you're auditioning for characters. Find bits and pieces of your life that match up with their personality, and it's part of making the character your own.
Yeah, that helps a lot, actually. I've actually done that a couple of times, and man, that works a lot. Okay. Now let's go to a bit of a fun part, because this is something that was kind of successful with with Patrick, and I mean more or less with Amy Smith as well. Do you like for example, if you see like a fan comic or a parody of a character that you voiced before, more or less like a comic, do you like to try giving voice to any kind of scene that fans put your character in?
I did a fair amount of that as Kiyotaka Ishimaru to help hype up the game, especially since the demographic that Danganronpa caters to happens to be younger, and so they are often a lot more creative and come up with a lot of relatively funny parody stuff. I don't go out actively searching for it, but at times, if I come across one that I really like, I will sometimes send it off just as like a for me to use sort of thing. But more often what will happen is I'll be with a group and we'll see a parody comic that involves multiple characters that we find funny, and so we'll make a collaborative effort, because then it's more of like a team bonding thing, you know?
More, for example, like the Persona 3, the Persona
right.
parody?
Right.
Oh wow! Because when I was talking with Patrick, I think I mentioned something related to that before. He came across a 4chan forum where he saw all kind of stuff about Freedom Planet, and then he was like, "What if Torg actually says that kind of stuff?" Or because the things you find in 4chan is not exactly healthy. I just leave it like that. But he was like, is it wrong to really give voice to this scene? And then before he knew it, he was actually voicing any kind of like a scene he found in that part. But that's what I was.
The funny thing is, from what I understand, while there's a lot of fan art and stuff of a lot of characters from Magi, there's very little comparatively of Kasim, and the most common reason I hear is because Kasim's hair is really hard to draw. So a lot of people avoid drawing him, and because of that, there's very little content of Kasim that I'm aware of.
Oh. I recently found a picture of Spade cosplaying Ezio from Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you've seen it.
Seen what?
There's a picture I found it here in Tumblr where I actually saw Spade dressed as Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen that.
Let me give you the link. It was drawn by Goshak. Let's see. Save. No, this is not save link. Copy link. Copy image location, and here you go. This is it.
Let's take a look here.
Actually, there's been a lot of fun stuff here.
The style. Yeah, I like the cross-ups and stuff like that. It's interesting to me when people take concepts and mix them together and challenge themselves to create something.
For example, this is, for example, speaking of parodies, for example, would you come to your mind to do like Spade speaking as Ezio or something like I'm going to be an assassin or something like it?
See, that's something I don't do too much of, and I admit that would probably help expand my range a bit more, but I haven't done a whole lot of characters pretending to be other characters in terms of voiceover practice.
Oh, characters?
Yeah, I know. I'm boring in that regard. I'm sorry.
No. It's not that. Characters acting as other characters. You really hit the spot right there, because this is something that happened with Amy Smith, and I'm gonna play it again. Yeah, I played it with Patrick Seymour. I don't care, but this is something that happened with Amy Smith. Now that you mentioned characters speaking as other characters, take a look at this. This was some of the funniest things that happened in all of the interviews I've done. Here it goes. Next, superhero of Freedom Planet, an even more badass edition of one of the characters.
There's only two ways this can end, and in both of them, you die.
That was actually Mila speaking as Duke Nukem.
The concept of Mia telling someone to blow it out their ass is actually kind of funny.
Because she, like I said in that interview, she's so cute that you'll never expect that she's going to whoop your ass.
She gets vicious though, man.
Yeah.
She's like Ike. She fights for her friends.
Yeah. But that's a whole different level. Actually, someone, I think it was Goshak as well, did a picture of Mila cosplaying Duke Nukem with their hair and everything. And that was the most awkward thing ever, but still, it was so freaking funny. Oh god. And something that also happened in another interview. For example, well, you're saying that you don't play that much with your characters, right? You just leave them be.
Well, what do you mean by that? Can you rephrase that?
I mean, you don't play around with your character. I mean, you don't try to make them some deal.
Oh, well, there were definitely like bloopers and stuff as I was getting used to the character. Like, one of the most common ones is when I was trying to put an air as Spade, and in the process, I kept mixing up my words. And so at one point, I just drop everything I'm saying. I'm like, damn, it's really hard to be cool when you're mixing up words. God damn it, I'm too cool for the English language. You know. So, I don't know. I think actually there's a secret code. I'm not going to spoil it. People, if you Google it, you can probably find it for yourself.
Yeah,
but there's a code that you can enter or hold during cutscenes, and it will cause bloopers to play if that line had a blooper for it.
Yeah, I actually know about that. I've actually tried, and I have the one of Spade recorded here, but, well, like you said, I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, well, if you have it, by all means, play it.
Oh, okay. Well, meanwhile, I'm sharing with you the link of Mila Nukem.
Okay.
Oh, man, I never expected that to come out, but when I saw it, I freaking squealed like a pig. Okay, let me see. Here's one of Lilac, and where the hell is Spades? Where is Spades? Ah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
You seemed pretty determined to get that stone back.
So you're the thief Lilac was talking about.
I've been called worse.
Where is it?
I've already finished the job. It's time for my brother to play his hand.
Your brother?
Prince Daelos. Prince... This is hard to be cool and suave while being informative at the same time. God damn my coolness.
Even with the beep.
He's doing so good. He's acting like, yeah, I'm the informant. I know what I'm doing, and then it's like, damn it, I've ruined the illusion.
Oh, I actually had no idea of the bloopers until I found out, but I didn't want to spoil myself. I better try to get to the scenes and record them. But that was so freaking funny. I really never expected anything like this to come out. Actually, the one who has more bloopers is Dawn. And they're actually pretty funny as well. Don't know if you have seen any of them. Ah, crap. Really? Internet, you're being such a scumbag. Internet, why are you being such a scumbag? Reconnect. Oh, there we go. And I was here along speaking like an idiot.
No worries.
Yeah, shit happens. And like I said, the one who probably got the most bloopers, at least in game, was Dawn, and they're freaking funny. I don't know if you have seen any of them.
Dawn is an example of someone who really plays and gets into her character, and as a result, she has what are easily some of the funniest bloopers of the whole game. So props to her.
Yeah, here it comes.
Those airships would ghost us from a mile away. Remember what happened to me in the valley?
What's that?
Just like, I'm done! Enough! I'm done.
Oh, actually, something I also remember from my previous interview. And something that I found also funny is that there are three main male voices. Actually, there are four in total, I guess. But the main three are Torque, Spade, and Major Shao. And turns out that the voices of you, Patrick Seymour, and Kagi are pretty similar.
How so?
So, something that was kind of funny was speaking with Patrick Seymour and speaking about that. I mean, what is your opinion about that? Because I also know that you and Patrick are pretty good friends, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't get the chance to hang out often, being that I'm on the West Coast and he's all the way over on the other side of the states. But I consider us friends, compatriots.
Yeah, but sometimes he said that. Well, actually, he tried for Spade in Freedom Planet, but you actually got the character because of the personality you gave to him. But for example, have you ever tried I don't know, speak like Torque or like Major Shao or something just fool around?
I can't even come close to doing it as well as the rest of them have. I probably the only times that I've imitated character voices are when we were just shooting the poop in the group chat and coming up with insane concepts or funny situations for the characters to be in. But I've come to love the voices they did, in the same way that now I cannot hear Kaiba's voice in Yu-Gi-Oh! As being any different from how Martin Billany, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, does it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, I can't remember, Little Karibo, of how Little Karibo does it. I can't unhear how Patrick does Torque, or how Lilac sounds, or how Jason Lord did for his character. So...
No. Because, something that Patrick mentioned is that there was a video he made, or like a recording he made, where he was like imitating the characters. I think he was voicing Major Shao and also Spade, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, is that the rest of the other characters or the other people?" And no, it was just him. And from that on, that like meme or something like that, the voices of all of you were pretty similar. So I was pretty curious about how would like someone playing as another character would sound like. I think that's sometimes kind of fun to try, because I've tried with other characters of my friends, but I don't know if you ever had that interest.
I can't say it crossed my mind, again, mostly because I've been busy with freelance and other stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's maybe sometime down the line. I can't say it's anything I've done before, but I'm always open to trying new things if it helps me expand my experience.
Yeah, but I think pretty much everything falls into the other thing I mentioned, that you don't usually play around with the other characters. I mean, you like leave them be, not changing their personality at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I still was kind of interested in asking that. Let's check the time. Oh my freaking God! Once again, over a freaking hour. Why the time goes so fast when we're having kind of a good time? But okay, let's see if there's anything else we
I should get to making dinner soon, because I actually realized I forgot to eat, and I am starving!
Yeah, I'm actually starving as well, because I ate pretty early, and I need to do some other things as well. But, what's the vision, for just to end up the interview, what's the vision you have of yourself in the future?
Vision? I definitely want to get more in touch with SBV, the talent agency that picked me up. I love everyone there, and they are so helpful and kind, and I want to show them that they made a great decision in picking me up. So I would definitely like to land a commercial or promo audition sometime soon and start getting into the union. I haven't quite nailed my dream yet of landing a lead character, even though I've come to understand that I don't really have the lead young male hero protagonist voice in regards to what most people look for. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. So honestly, I want to keep working. I want to keep doing what I love, and I'm extremely grateful that I'm able to do what I love full time now, instead of having a job on the side as well. Yeah. And I just want to make people smile. I want them to have fun, and I think as long as I can do that much, then I'm pretty happy.
Oh, that's great. That's pretty great words. Oh my God, give me an applause here. Oh my God, where's my panel? Panel, what the hell are you?
Where's that perfect audience applause?
Okay, here it is. Here, my good panel. Okay, enough. Yeah,
They're so good at that.
Yeah, the freaking panel. I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of you, panel. I'm real proud of you. Okay, no, not start yet. Okay. Well, let's see. I think this pretty much covers everything. Well, maybe not everything, because we could more and more things could come out. But now we all have our own lives, and we have things to do. We're busy people. Well, yeah, I wish. But well, it was a pretty interesting time with you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you very much for inviting me to the interview.
And like I said, thank you very much for accepting. I mean, this was pretty. No, not quack. I'm pretty happy that I had the chance to share a couple of words with you. Actually, then my next target, I have my sights on my next target, and I really hope I get the chance to interview Dawn.
Who we get next?
Huh?
Who we get next?
Yeah, probably. That's really my wish, because there's something that happened with Seymour that I really want to drop on her, and it's gonna be really, really fun.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Well, the people who saw the previous interview are gonna get maybe know already of that. what the hell is this? Sorry. I really don't want to look for that right now because or well, maybe I can look for it because I had the great idea of adding pictures in the interview so I could keep track of the funny scenes. I think here it is. This is one of the most awkward things that happened with my interview with Patrick Seymour.
So another big one.
No, so I saw another of no, I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna put that because that's really perverted.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
What? Okay, especially playing that first bit before playing that music. Is there something I should leave the room for?
I don't know. That will be up to you. But this is what happens previously. So that kind of situations. Oh.
Oh my God, Dawn, you're listening to this right now. Stripe, you're listening to this right now. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do.
Oh my God. I regret nothing. I am not to blame for this. I am not to blame for this.
Lilac, before we go into our final mission, I have one last request. Take off your pants.
He cheated! What have I done? No, you don't understand. We were supposed to touch butts. You need to go back to him, and you need to tell him that Spade said this.
Torque, I heard about what you asked from Lilac. What happened to us, man? What happened to touching butts? I wanted to see your deck. You wanted to see my deck. We were going to touch butts. Things were going to be great. I see what I mean to you now. And let me tell you, my butt is off limits now. Both cheeks. You can get your kicks somewhere else. My deck is not for your use.
Okay.
That gets to him.
What?
You make sure that gets to him.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that. Oh, okay. Once a freaking again, this interview took a turn to the unexpected.
Now we wait for the Rule 34 of that to come out, right?
Probably. Oh my God, what have we done? Once again, what have we done? And last but not least, something. Well, this was for like Brabham, but a message from Torque to Brabham.
Stuff like that. Found out I'm like kind of also a bodybuilder, so they made like extremely buff Torque. It's ridiculous.
Oh, here it is. Sorry, that's not the part. Your own thing? Okay.
Right.
Do you want some evil or badass music or something like it?
No, we can do it silent.
Okay, here it comes.
So let me draw my regiment for this one.
Oh my God.
You want to use weapons, Brevin? Bitch, I'm gonna use my hands to destroy your fucking ass.
Oh my.
Oh shit.
That was a really that was buff Torque or overly manly Torque.
Oh, overly manly Torque. Yeah, I've seen the image of that, and it's hilarious.
Actually, the picture of overly manly Torque that was done by yours truly.
Right.
Well, there's the buff Torque and the overly manly Torque, which is the overly manly meme with the colors of Torque. That was done by yours truly.
Right. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm starting to get scared about the reaction this is going to happen. Oh, this is going to cause some pretty interesting and probably negative things on my person.
Yeah. And again, thank you for your time, and I really appreciate getting to take part in this.
Well, thanks a lot, Sean. You're really, really awesome. I mean, I don't want to sound like a bootlicker or something like it, but yeah, really, really amazing. And
bootlick? What are you looking at my boot for? I told you the cheeks aren't. They're not open access.
No. I said bootlicker, not butt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess you can do that.
Yeah. Okay. What? Let's continue this in private.
And the rest of the interview consisted of licking my boot.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, that's gross.
That was disgusting.
Done! I'm out of here!
Okay, people, I really hope you liked the interview, and stay tuned because hopefully there will be more interviews coming later. And well, Sean, once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
All right, people, see you later. Here was with you Toto088, and see you later.
Well, I hate to kick my own ass, but it's gotta be done.